comforting to see that at least some places can maintain a degree of normalcy.
Construction materials and resources. And what about this talk of missing supplies? I would think the conversation starts there. Hmm?
I apologize, but with the cataclysm, the investigation has been slow going.
How convenient.
You're putting the growth before the horns! The issue is not the supplies, it's the workforce! This may sound weird, but if we could reunite with some of the exiles from House Malim...
Careful, Envoy. It means nothing if those who lend a hand are holding a knife.
Not to mention, they're completely sloughing mad. What? Too soon? It's only been about 50 years.
For now, let me see what I can find out regarding the missing supplies. It's possible they were lost in the tragedy along with everything else, but I don't know for sure. Once that is sorted, we can revisit this debate.
Of course.
Harbinger? First the cataclysm, now this. There's too much going on right now. I'm well aware, which is why my door is open to colleagues and strangers alike. I'm sorry if I seem a bit flustered. Things have been chaotic since the cataclysm, and now word of missing supplies. But that doesn't excuse my rudeness. Let me at least introduce myself. My name is Kezrani Dulkev. I work as an executor for House Dulkev. Likewise. And I'm well aware of who you are. Word of the first convert in generations is on everyone's lips these days. But I'm sure you are busy getting adjusted to life here. Is there anything I can help you with? In that case, maybe you can help. It's about the supply shortage. There may be a reason for it beyond the cataclysm itself. A week ago, my cousin Ukaru came to my office concerned about a series of lost shipments. He was certain someone was using the tragedy as cover to steal supplies and route them to our enemies. I'm not sure. The message was vague, and there are many who would want to do us harm. Smart, cowardly, and treacherous. But to make such accusations, more proof is required. So I told my cousin to return with more evidence. And when I didn't hear back, I assumed that was the end of it. But this morning, I received a slate from a courier. It was from Ukaru. It was worrying, to say the least. It felt like Ukaru was trying to warn me. The contents were cryptic. He mentions a possible conspiracy and being followed and, well, I hate to say it, but I'm starting to panic. He hasn't shown up to work in days, and the timing of all this feels suspicious.
A sudden absence would give credence to the idea he was followed.
Agreed. Ukaru was extremely punctual. An absence like this is very unlike him. But if he is in danger, I don't know if it's safe for me to investigate. I need someone disconnected from the noble houses. I'm not sure that's wise, given Ukaru's warnings. If what he says is true, a watchful eye is being kept on House Dulkev. They may blame him or me for the supplies going missing. And if I investigate this, I could be accused of wiping records or tampering with evidence. An independent investigator, unaffiliated with the houses, is what we need here. Vital supplies for the city, which given the cataclysm is a wide breadth of things. Construction materials, medical kits, food. The loss of all this is a great cause for concern, given the state of the city. The slate Okaru sent via courier is light on details, but he did say that one of the noble houses may be involved, which, if true, would emphasize the need for discretion and an outside party. Okaru's workstation is likely your best bet. He's been working in the rehabilitation unit on the 3rd floor of the Halls of Healing. If you run into any issues with access, hand this slate to my fellow executors. Once you locate him, report back to me. I've got a meeting at HUSK later, but I shouldn't be hard to track down. Hopefully you'll find my cousin alive and safe.
Excuse me, Harbinger. Can I have a word?
I would do anything to sleep in my own bed again.
Miss, I'm sorry.
Is it urgent or can it wait?
Supplies. We are stretched.
I'm sorry, but this wing of the hospital is under investigation. You'll have to leave. Even with the cataclysm, this is highly irregular. But not surprising. Kisrani is obsessed with transparency and often seeks independent help. I find this tendency unwise.
And by unwise, he means a complete disregard for operational security, rules, and regulations.
Possibly. And yet, despite what I said, and unsaid, she persists in doing so. So, we must come to a compromise.
A good compromise leaves everyone unhappy. This one was particularly miserable.
I will give you the keycard to Ukaru's computer. You will be able to access documents and correspondence for the past month. Any further access will require admin privileges, which I am not willing to grant. I apologize, but you are only given access to view the computer's records. Admin privileges are restricted to House officials only. Indeed. As long as we limited your permissions, I suppose the situation might merit granting you access. I am aware of your status as a recent convert, which is barely a step above heretic. The cataclysm has made things difficult. I suppose, given all that's happened, exceptions must be made. You'll be granted temporary admin privileges to Ukaru's computer. That should be enough for you to do your investigation. Saffron, the halls of healing are extremely busy. We can't keep track of every individual that passes through. In particular, the patients. We had to usher one out of here just now, who claimed to have a crippling headache.
Given the patient himself was a headache, it's likely genetic.
The admin privileges I've granted you will allow you to view the access logs, however, that track the last users to sign in. It is highly unusual for anyone to display such disobedience, especially now. Such actions are tantamount to heresy. Loss of employment is the most likely outcome.
A beheading isn't off the table.
It would be done humanely, of course. Ukaru hasn't logged into his station for some time. I've had to process several write-ups documenting his absence.
Dereliction of duty, failure to serve, fireable offenses all around.
We've also had to shift resources and people to make up for his absence. Suffice to say, it has made navigating this current situation more difficult. Unfortunately, rather than use the proper channels, he chose to start his own investigation.
A very unfortunate choice.
I will not pretend to know the particulars of this case. I will say this. We are House Dul Kef. We have a reputation. We are professional. We are exacting.
We don't make mistakes.
Precisely. Now, to get back to these spreadsheets.
I have...
We have displeased the Great Serpent, so do not agitate him anymore.
Were our sins really so great?
looks like a storage facility. Do you think it is worth picking through it?
This is an active industrial site.
Help me!
I see. You cannot escape the shrouding, accursed one. And now you and your friend will die!
Massive damage.
Give up already.
Take what you must. Leave the rest for the scavengers.
You can't hope to win.
Find the intruder! Block them from the control room! What fucking rat?
You cannot beat me. They could not hope to win, so they fled.
Please proceed with caution. There is heavy machinery operating in this area.
That removes any advantage they hope to gain by keeping us in the dark.
I'll ask you again. Who else knows? No one! My superiors don't even believe there's missing shipments! And why is that? I don't know! They were all signed off by someone higher up! It's only a matter of time before they find out about my boss. And what of it? If you are using this as a pretense to end our agreement, my boss has no intention of doing that. We will need assurances in person. We will send a message through an encrypted slate. The coordinates to Gendar's rest will be there. I'll let them know. And what of this one? He's seen my face. He's given us everything we need. Turn him to dust.
someone or something, progress on the device is welcome. It is good to feel that we are making a difference.
If you feel you're in danger, I can provide a security detail. My people are nothing if not capable.
Thank you, Envoy. I'll consider it. Was there anything else?
Yes, there was one more thing. Regarding the missing supplies, I was wondering if I could be of any assistance. Our agents mostly work in the settled systems, but I have contacts in Basra as well. I can set up a meeting at the Halls of Obedience.
I appreciate the support. My mind has been frazzled as of late.
It's understandable. The accident has affected all of us.
You're right, and your concern is welcome. I apologize. The Envoy and I were just discussing matters of state.
In particular, I offered to help find the missing supplies. I have my people looking into the matter as well.
Thank you for your diligence, Envoy. On that note, I hate to take up any more of your time than I already have. And I'm sure you're busy with issues regarding your own house. If you don't mind, I'd like a moment with the Harbinger alone.
This is a personal matter. I am sure the Envoy will respect our privacy.
Indeed. And your timing is apt. The cortege has arrived at the spaceport, and I don't like to leave the crew waiting.
Thank you, Envoy.
Executor.
I appreciate your discretion. The Envoy is a trusted figure, but you can never be too careful in situations like this.
In my line of work, this holds especially true. The more people know, the more everyone knows.
Exactly. We keep the circle of trust small until we know who to let in. And while having the conversation here isn't entirely secure, we're pressed for time, so it'll have to do. So, now that we're alone, tell me, what have you uncovered? I was afraid of that. If only I had preached more caution. But after the accident, things were dire. Our resources were blocked. We needed those supplies, and... Thank you. If the Zealots are responsible, they must be punished. But one question remains. How would they gain access to the shipments in the first place?
The answer is both obvious and impossible to believe. Who would betray House Varun when so many are suffering?
That is a part I am having trouble with myself. But perhaps our loyalty to House Varun blinds us. This slate you found, it mentions a contact. Someone on the inside. This person would have to be well versed in our operational pipeline. They would have to know where to route the shipments and how to clean the books. It seems unfathomable. But perhaps Hukaru was right. A member of the noble houses has betrayed us. It's very likely that is the case. As for which house, well, I'm not sure at this point. House Vithal would have the authority to put supplies on hold and confiscate them. House Kadik would have the intel and spies, and the supplies were ordered by my people at House Dulkef. The slate you brought to me does have some information. It mentions a meeting that will take place at Jandar's Rest, but I don't know where that is. We're going to need to enlist some help. I'd like you to speak with Tivina Vithal at the Keep. If that slate has coordinates, she may have the means to decrypt it. Myself and some others were having dinner at the meat house. From our vantage point, we couldn't see what was happening outside the scaled citadel, but I could hear the blast searing into my skull. I remember falling from my chair, trying to get my bearings in this period of eerie silence, and then I heard the screams. Do not let her cheery demeanor fool you. She has a reputation around these parts for being a ruthless hunter of heretics. If she doesn't know the location of the hideout, at the very least, she'll have a lead. My mind goes immediately to motive. Who would want to aid the Zealots? I want to be careful, but I will say this. There are members of the noble houses who have floated the idea of reconciliation in the past. But to make a suggestion is one thing. Without approval from the speaker, the act is treason. Well, if the implication is my cousin is the conspirator, his death disproves that theory. But I'm not averse to keeping that information between us. They are fiercely loyal to House Varun and are in charge of rooting out zealotry in our ranks. Only one thing troubles me, though. If a shipment were put on hold and confiscated, it would likely go to them first. Excellent. As for me, I must mourn my cousin's passing. I understand there's a shrine upstairs. When you return, meet me at the Halls of Obedience, where we first met. By Jinan's grace, we'll find out who the supply thief is and bring them to justice. You may have noticed, but I've been on the move a lot lately. I don't mean to alarm you, but I think I'm being followed. I'll feel more comfortable if we meet in a public place. Mujin suggested a security detail, and I think I may take him up on his offer. If nothing else, but for peace of mind. When you betray House Varun, there is only one kind. Serpent guide you, and be safe.
All must serve.
Since the incident, full dedication is even more necessary.
Harbinger! I was wondering when you'd grace my office with your presence. Oh, yes. You've communed with phantoms, survived the ritual, and probably slew 2 or 3 horrors on the way. I'm not against the occasional embellishment on your behalf, believe me. Oh, you're a flatterer. Well, that will get you everywhere with me. In fact, I think you and I are going to be fast friends. But I realize that's not why you're here, Shall we get down to business? Excellent. I take it this is about the missing supplies. I may have some intel on my computer that could help you with your case. Well, look at that. The Great Serpent favors us both. It just so happens that one of my agents recently recovered a Zealot cipher key and dropped it off this morning. Here, a copy of the key for your records. Well, as you can see, the encryption they're using is mind-numbingly simple. Take the slate number and multiply the even numbers by 2. Your slate's numbered 2032, which means the key is... You hit the bullseye. Let's see what you've won. Looks like an all-expenses-paid journey to John Dar's Rest. Lucky you. Okay, scanning the coordinates, these point further north, hidden in Badlands. Clever, clever. Going in there alone, huh? I suppose any extra hands would just get in your way. But that aside, let's get to the guts of the issue, After reading through the evidence, where do you think the supply thief is from? Fine. Keep your secrets. I'll do the same. Well, whoever the thief is, I think it's all but guaranteed you'll find more clues at John Dar's Rest. Now, since you have what you need, I'm going to turn my attention to other matters. I've enjoyed our time together, but as they say, fish and guests are quick to stink. Let's avoid that from happening to us.
Some cave systems can contain entire ecosystems. Some are just holes in the ground. Extra ammunition is always welcome if anything.
You're too late, Harbinger. The contact has already returned to Dazra, and your handler, Kisrani, will die by their hand. Child of Jerick. Normally, I would not entertain such cowardice. But the speed of your arrival is suspicious. How did you find this place so swiftly? I wonder if the contact has betrayed us and fled to safety. Killing us would remove his only witnesses. I am beginning to think you are right. Yes, and I doubt that even the Warden, despite all her bloodthirst, would find us so quickly. No, this reeks of foul play. It is unlikely such a thing would have simply fallen into your hands. We are not so careless. A leak is possible. Very well. If we have been betrayed, then there is no bargain left to uphold. The name of our contact is from House Kadik. This slate will give you all the evidence you need. Goodbye, child of Jerick. Pray we do not meet again on more even ground.
A good many species of predator take refuge in caves. We should keep that in mind.
You're back. Did you uncover anything at Jandar's Rest? Mujin, are you sure? Then I may be walking into an ambush, seeing as Mujin's the one who organized this meeting and supplied my security detail. The meeting takes place inside the Halls of Obedience. Will you watch my back? I don't know if we have enough evidence. If we're the aggressors here, it may be harder to prove. Let's wait for them to make the first move. I'm well aware and brought a weapon, but I'm still counting on you to be my dagger in the dark. Okay, let's walk.
Serpent.
For House Malene!
Hey, be careful not to point that thing at me.
Jinan, bless you. I would not have survived that if you hadn't been here. It's more than luck. I'm beginning to think your coming was divined by the serpent itself. In any case, now is not the time to dawdle. Our next move must be to arrest Mujin. He's a prominent member of another noble house. I'm slightly concerned about the optics of this. Some may say we are trying to shift the balance of power, and so to move forward, our evidence must be ironclad. No, it's safer in your hands. And when it comes time for the trial, I want you to deliver it. You're the only impartial person involved in this case. And besides, you did the legwork. You deserve the honor of submitting it. I am of House Dulkef. We are meticulous to a fault. Before we move in, I want to make sure we have opened every closet, looked into every crack. Thank you. This assassin's attempt will help our case, but we still need evidence tying him to Mujin. If you have time, check his office. There may be information connecting him to this individual. Yes, as a matter of fact, the bodies of the assassins. They may offer more clues. I'll have security look them over also, but if their ranks have been infiltrated, I'd rather you inspect them first. Good. Our case must be ironclad given whom we are accusing. Regardless, he must answer for aiding the Zealots and the murder of my cousin. Give me until the coming dawn and I will summon the relevant parties to my office. Mark my words. We will bring him to justice with all three noble houses as witness.
Sometimes it feels like...
Remember, House Kadik business is its own.
It has been quite a challenge to keep all of the records.
I am trying to keep strong, but I fear I may be losing my mind.
You've been busy, Harbinger. Choose your words carefully. Convert or not, you're still an outsider, which is just a stone's throw away from trespasser. But before you proceed into that room, I must ask, do you have the proof you need? Is it solid? You must be confident to make such an accusation. And my intel says you came back with a slate in hand. I imagine the contents of which are damning. So let us speak frankly for a moment, if we may. I've been thinking about the events of the past few days, and I have some thoughts. The speed at which things have unraveled, it makes me wonder how much of this outcome has been orchestrated. Of course, I am not denying my role in all this. Yes, I approved to have the supplies rerouted. And yes, I ordered that they be directed to the zealots. But the murders, the violence, these were not directives I had ordered. If I am guilty of anything, it's being a rubber stamp. I won't apologize for my actions. Everything I did for Dazra. A handful of supply shipments are a meager exchange for an entire clan of allies. United with House Malin, we can rebuild Dazra as the industrial and military force it was during the Serpent's Crusade. Which is why I ask that you listen to my proposal. Let me go. Allow me to continue my efforts discreetly for the betterment of House Va'ruun. I have a ward, Okim, who I've used to keep myself separated from this operation, and also serves as the perfect suspect. I'll arrange for him to conveniently disappear. While loyal, it's better for us both if he isn't available for questioning. Your flippant attitude only gives me more conviction. You only see what's in front of you, and not the big picture.
Please. You made no grand gesture. You violated the law and aided those who want us dead.
I don't know what evidence you've gathered, but without anything concrete, it's your word against mine. We shall see which one carries more weight.
Thank you all for coming. I think we can all agree that the charges for this crime are quite serious. Theft of supplies, aiding the zealots, and the murder of my cousin. Which is why it comes with great shock that evidence points to a member of House Kadik as the thief.
Based on what evidence? House Kadik does not deal in trade. Your house does.
I would not be making this claim without sufficient cause. Nor is House Dulkef the bearer of this information. Harbinger, the floor is yours. This slate lists you by name, Envoy. What do you have to say for yourself?
Is this what you called me to your office for, Kisrani? This is an absolute disgrace to your department.
You haven't answered my question, Mujin.
Nor should I have to. A single slate, which I might add is likely fabricated, is not enough to prove anything.
Is that so, Mujin? Or do you deny the words you yourself wrote?
I absolutely deny it. My computer has obviously been tampered with. This is clearly not enough evidence to even consider me a suspect.
Oh, you didn't know. We have piles of evidence, ship departure records, signatures, the works. And of course the kicker, Kisrani's would-be assassin.
Security has identified him as Okim Kadik.
Well, that's your ward, Mujin.
In fact, if I were you, Envoy, I would think long and hard about submitting to the guard peacefully. Given the severity of your crimes, the captain has the authority to do it by force.
I will cooperate, but this is by no means an admission. And make no mistake, the three of you will pay for this insult.
Make all the threats you want, Envoy. My decision is made. Guard, take him away.
As you command, Executor.
I appreciate you backing me up on this one. Warden Vithal had brought some evidence linking Mujin to the crime, but it's your evidence that makes me feel confident we can convict. All told, I'm extremely grateful. Ukaru was family, and I would not have been able to rest if I knew the thief had not been brought to justice. The guard will move him to lockup. You can visit him if you like, so long as he cooperates. A grim reality is, it's unlikely he will be there long. Aiding the Zealots is a crime punishable by death. There are typically no exceptions. Add to that the murder of a state official and, well, he'll be lucky if his death is swift. It's a well-known secret that Mujin was not a popular member of HUSK. I suspect he may have operated independently, and Elder Razma will likely deny any involvement. My thanks are yours. You had no personal stake in solving my cousin's murder, yet you did so with diligence and aplomb. For that, you will be well rewarded.
I've also handed over everything we have at House Vithal regarding the case. Who knows what other crimes we can uncover while poring over the evidence.
I'll take this up with the captain of the guard. After that, our part in all of this is done. Jinan grace you for taking on this investigation. You've done a great service for House Varun and for Dazra. And on a personal note, I want to extend my gratitude for avenging my cousin's murder. With the accident and all that's going on, I haven't really had time to grieve, but closing this case might help me start that process. So for that, I thank you.